Government is waging a war against illegal immigrants entering the country. Zimbabweans account for the majority of foreigners living in South Africa, and with that country's dire economic prospects, this number continues to rise. Now, the Home Affairs Department is trying to lobby experts to assist the Border Management Authority to implement technology-supported programs to deal with problems at Beitbridge and other border posts. eNCA reporter Pule Letshwiti-Jones is at the Beitbridge border post, and he joins us now live. Pule, we are edging closer and closer to the festive season, and Beitbridge is usually quite problematic. What are you seeing today? Any difference?
Definitely, which is quite important. What we're told that as the country heads towards the festive season, it becomes quite busy and congested here. But I must also tell you, it's really extremely hot where we're currently standing here, Masejo. And one will understand that despite all of these temperatures, people still persist and, try to move throughout this area here into the main entry, into the border. Now, what we're seeing currently here are some of the trucks that will be making their way inside the border throughout this port here, where they'll be delivering essential goods and of course other products coming from South Africa or from other parts of South Africa. The queue is not that long, though, one must say. Usually you would see that the queue would stretch for kilometers, with truck drivers being frustrated here. But what we now also know is that I got an opportunity to speak to one of the guys who's coming from Zimbabwe, who was telling us that they jump the borders and are not documented when they have to take some of their goods that they buy in South Africa into Zimbabwe once again. It was quite an interesting conversation, and I asked him as to whether he's not afraid of being arrested by law enforcement or of being intercepted by the National Defence Force or Border Management Authorities. And he said, look, they're doing what they have to do in order to survive. So irregardless of the laws being in place, they don't mind just doing what they're doing. But also, Masejo, we've managed to see that there's an interesting element here where the Taxi Association says that they're doing all they can to try and intercept and arrest those who would come into the country illegally, but try to cause crime around this little area here, where we see that there's a local economy where people are selling food to those who are coming here, who are either entering South Africa or leaving South Africa. But I just want us to take a listen to what this person had to say earlier on when I spoke to him regarding what they're doing and why he believes that it's not wrong as they come into South Africa and leave South Africa without the proper processes and documentation being in place.
I can cross 3 to 4 times a day. Yeah.
And what are you taking in and out? What are you transporting?
We transport the bags of people who come to buy things in this country. Then we transport it to Zim side, like bags, groceries, and even for shops, for goods for shops. We can carry it from here, South Africa, to Zimbabwe.
And if someone said to you, please smuggle something for me, and they give you money, you will do it?
Yes, but not the dangerous things. We want the simple things like grocery. Now I've got fuel, even a bag for clothes or to blankets. Yeah.
And small things like drugs.
I don't do that. Those things are very dangerous to me.
How much do you charge?
It's only, it depends with the health of that good. But we start with 100 upwards.
And there's no police here. No one see.
Yeah, police is there, but it's special force inside. They know about us. We are struggling for our family. They know about our country there. Then South African side, maybe you can meet other policemen. They understand which situation on our country.
Briefly, Pule, you know, we know that Home Affairs on the 5th of October, the President will be actually launching the Border Management Authority and more men that will be on the ground there. Have you seen any of the authority members? Are they making any difference at all?
Yeah, Masih, it's about 400 of the authorities who would be part of that parade as well. I did get an opportunity to speak to some of the border authority officials as well, of course, speaking of record, but they raised a few concerns to say it is quite dangerous patrolling around this border, particularly at night as well, where you see people like you're seeing on screen right now carrying goods from South Africa and essentially will be leaving, or rather bypassing the Beitbridge border, which is quite ineffective and porous as well, and it's quite problematic for them, saying that sometimes their lives are at risk. If you listen to that interview when I spoke to this person, he says that sometimes police officials will leave them if they come in their numbers, because you can't take on someone who's undocumented. Unfortunately, he says that sometimes if they carry weapons, police know that if they were to be killed, this particular individual will not be able to be traced again. So those are the challenges that law enforcement is facing this side. And there seems to be a plea in a sense that they want more boots on the ground to try and address the situation right now here. And as you see on screen, these are some of the Zimbabweans as well who I've spoken to, who will then be assisted by some of the drivers here who will take their goods and drive into the Beitbridge border using legal processes. However, some will then carry, you know, boxes and plastic bags and use them and carry them throughout the border as well, when nobody can intercept them, which is quite a problematic challenge, which is currently giving government a headache as well.
Yeah. All right. Pule Letshwiti-Jones with those live visuals for us from the Beitbridge border post there in Limpopo, between Limpopo and Zimbabwe.